In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Excel 2008 for the Macintosh to make the graphs for the moving plots lab for general physics. Okay. Start off with this. You've got time, distance, velocity like that. And you should just type in your numbers. Don't forget to start with a 0 and then basically how far each dot is from the first dot, the first sixth dot that you marked, like I showed you in class. Okay. So that's what I've done is I've just typed in these numbers. These numbers should steadily increase. If they don't, something's wrong. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this look a little nicer. I'm going to do a double click on this little divider. Notice that it automatically adjusts the column width to be the size of the biggest thing in there, which is of course the headers there. Our time starts out at 0 and then it's 0.1 and 0.2 and whoops and 0.2 and there we go, right? And we could just type all those in all the way down to all 60 points I have. But notice that if I select the first two and then I grab it like this, that's the fill down. So the cursor looks like that little skinny cross like that. I'm going to drag this down and voila. If you make a pattern, it'll generalize the pattern. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Your first velocity is 0. And then what we're doing is we're going to calculate the instantaneous velocity. So this will be a formula. It's going to be equals, and you got to use parentheses, this one minus this one, right? So that's how far it traveled in the last tenth of a second. So we're going to divide by 0.1. Okay? It's always the distance to the left minus the distance before that divided by 0.1. Well, 1.3 minus 0 is 1.3. Divided by 0.1 would be 13, right? That's how you get your velocity. So this one will be equal to parentheses, this guy minus this guy, right? Divided by 0.1. Obviously, you don't have to type all those either, right? We can just grab the handle there. Right, so I'm grabbing the lower right-hand corner. Whoa, there we go. Boom, and I'm filling down. Okay, I'll show you that again. You click on it, see that little corner like that? Grab that little corner and pull it down. Right? You can also use fill down from the menu, but that's so much easier. Okay, so now we've got that. That's good, right? Okay. Watch this. What I'm doing is I'm doing a control click. This would be a left click. No, wait, would that be a right? It would be a right click on a PC. I'm doing a control click, which is rename. So I want to call this data. Whoops, dats. Data, there we go. That sheet, I'm doing a control click, which would be a right click on a PC. I don't want that sheet anymore. Control click. This changed my life to do this, right? It's like, data. There we go. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to make a graph of this, okay? And so I'll show you how to do that. What you do to do a graph is you select and I'm going to zoom out here. Okay, you select this guy here. Whoops, I just moved that. See that cursor? Use that cursor and select the data you want to graph. So here, notice I've selected time and distance. Select that and then go Insert Chart, right? Boom. And then it says what kind of chart? We want XY scatter chart. Okay. This is my favorite one, is the one that looks like that. Boom. And here it just pops it in there, and it doesn't even ask us what labels we should have for the axis. That thing, I don't like that. We don't need that. All right, there it is. So I just clicked on it, and then I hit the delete key is what I did there. I don't like where this graph is, so I'm going to do a control click. This would be a right click on the Mac or on the PC, right? I don't want to move the chart, right? And I want to make it a new sheet because this chart's really good to have a big copy of it. So I'm going to call this position versus time, and it will make a little tab down there. So now we got a tab for the graph, a tab for the data. Isn't that beautiful? It's like, it just makes me happy. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got this, and we want to make this graph just beautiful. So we want to add a title. We want to label the axes. How do we do it, right? You know, can we click on the graph? It turns out it's all hidden up here. There's something called a toolbox. Click that, and there we go. Chart title, right? We can change the X and Y axis, but right now let's do the title. This is versus time. All right. And now let's change the x-axis. So the x-axis is this is time, and don't forget to label the units, time in seconds, right? And then let's change that to vertical. The vertical axis is position, and that's in centimeters. So I just put it in parentheses like that. That's good. All right. Okay, so now we've got that. That's kind of cool. Do we need the toolbox for anything else? I don't think so. Oh, wait. Maybe we do. Here, let's pop. Chart options. Oh, grid lines. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. It might be fun to have major, let's see, grid lines. Vertical axis. Let's do horizontal axis. Horizontal axis. Let's do major grid lines, shall we? Ooh, that's nice. You see what I did? I did horizontal axis and then I added major grid lines. Okay. Okay, that's good. Isn't that good? I can put away my toolbox. So the toolbox is there, and now it's not there. All right. This is just a beautiful graph, so I believe I can just leave it. Okay. So that's good. Let's go back to our data, and now let's make a velocity graph. So I want to select. It always is better to select the data you want to graph. So velocity versus time. So I'm going to select this guy. And now I want to select this stuff here. On a PC, you would do a control select. On a Mac, I'm holding the command key down, and I'm going to select. And that lets me select two different things. Shift key doesn't do it. It'll select everything in between. Okay, so now I've selected that. They've got to be the same selection. I think it cares whether you select down or up. For this guy, this is my favorite. So you're going to do insert chart, right? And then it says, yeah, we're doing that, right? XY scatter is what you want, and then this guy here. And that's a beautiful graph right there. I don't think we need the word series 1. It doesn't really do much for me. So I just clicked on it, hit delete. Okay. This graph I'm going to put just on the front side here because, whoops, what did I just do? I didn't move it. You grab it by the edge. There we go. I want to make this graph up here on the front of my thing there. And now it's like, I can't figure out how to do a print preview on this, but you can do view page layout. And now it's showing me that the next page is going to have that on there. So I'm going to move that over. There we go. Whoa. There we go. Oops. It wants to put it right on the... There it is. Okay. There we go. And then it's putting it down there too. That's kind of annoying. So let's... I'm relying on this to be my... Okay. Was that annoying? That was. Okay, that's big enough, isn't it? Okay, so for this graph, notice that my data is extending onto this field. A lot of things I could do with this. I could view, let's see, I don't want toolbar status bar. What did I do? How did I get in there? Insert format. I don't know. How did I get that? Anyway, there's lots of things I can do. I could just change the font size. Right? I could change my font size and make it smaller, and maybe I can get this on one sheet. Right? The font is 10 point. Maybe if I make it 8 point, will it fit on that one page? No. And that's because I haven't changed the font size anywhere else. Okay, so normal. Let's go to normal. I'm going to click the whole thing and I'm going to change the font to 6 point. There we go. Is that fitting on one page now? It almost is. Is that worth it? I guess I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to make it 4-point font. Nobody can read 4-point font. What did I just do? 48-point font. I love that. Let's go 4-point font. Here we go. Okay, that's just not worth it. So I'm going to go back to, what was it, 10 point? 10 point's good. And we don't care that it goes onto another page. We do care, though, that this goes on to the other side there, right? Okay. Now, let's go in here. What I want to do here is I actually want to add the axes to this. So I'm going to click Toolbox, right? Horizontal axis is going to be time. You get to watch me battle this thing, right? The vertical axis is going to be velocity. And it's in centimeters per second, okay? And then the chart title is going to be velocity versus time. Velocity versus time. And then Let's look at the x-axis. I think it would be nice to have vertical grids there. So let's go horizontal thing, horizontal axis. Let's do major grid lines. Yeah, that's spiffy, isn't it? Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this off, and I'm going to print this one, and I'm going to print this one. And if you have those two graphs, you're good to go. Okay? That's all you need.